but for lot UK Jew, and generally more than modern object is as well potential to be on the order of business at the celebratory food. On Monday, the management of Britain's largest Hebrew groups organised an unparalleled demonstrate external the UK Parliament, charging Labour lead Jeremy Corbyn of Lathe a curtain eye to a revival of against Semitism in UK policy, especially during his own side. For several at the outcry, the perspective of Corbyn proper the following lead of Britain, that came in abrupt attention while Main Secretary Theresa May's work most was graded out in recent years general poll, is a sobering a creature Hebrew myself, it frightens me which same's on. The 1 week's demonstrate was the peak of disappointment how has simmered with Corbyn's surprise party poll as Labour lead in 2015 catapulted him of a limit drawing on the far leftward of UK policy to the main option to Theresa May. For lot of his career, Corbyn, an candid reviewer of Israel and a brutal campaign participant for Palestine rights, remained on the fringes of his side. But his win in the 2015 management poll has painted study to several of the business he has stored in the history, and has coincided in a growth in against Semitic rhetorical aimed in special at several of such during the Labour side who opposed his candidate. A quantity of Labour regional councillors and supporters, mainly of the Corbynite leftward of the side, include as well been trapped up in concoction of against Semitism. Corbyn has often protected oneself, insisting he is devoted to dealing against Semitism and all forms of racist. But his efforts include been wide embattled, consisting a 2016 Labour side investigation in against Semitism that led the writer of the paper, Shami Chakrabarti, to sign down there was too much lot precise testimony of clueless behavior. Corbyn outlined the paper as essential and told it would assist the side set the norm on against racism. But the defect CEO of the UK Executive Board of Deputy Corps, Marie van der Zyl, named it a whitewashing. Down there was as well future horror while Corbyn equipped Chakrabarti, who had been thrown as an freelance drawing, to the building of Lords and done her a term of his dark office. But the determining time came recent 1 week, while a Labour MP claimed to aware why Corbyn had proposed his supporting in 2012 to a graffiti painter whose fresco displayed several against Semitic tropes. Reason, requested Corbyn in a Facebook commentary. Thou are in nice business. Rockefeller so ruined Diego Vera's so fresco since it includes a image of Lenin. Labour ill-fumbled its answer. An original short declaration, given by a representative for the lead, was wide derided as inappropriate. Just following Corbyn's own MP's pronounced rage was a future declaration given, the period in Corbyn's behalf, that proposed a more than effusive express of pity. I genuinely pity how I did not see more than close at the picture I was comment on, the table of contents of that are deep harassing and against Semitic, Corbyn told. I am opposed to the manufacture of against Semitic content of any type, and the defense of complementary speaking cannot be utilized as a justify for the promote of against Semitism in any shape. But it was too deceased, and at the weekend the UK Executive Board of Deputy Corps and the Hebrew Management Justice, two bodies that present main UK Jew, named for a demonstrate. Freddie Claude, 25, thick felt he had to go out and outcry, in spite the brief note. At the outcry, his sibling Gus detained an picture of Corbyn's person in his renowned motto of "To the lot, not the few," overwritten as "To the lot, not the Hebrew." The brothers told the complaints of against Semitism equalized at the Labour lead include been neglected. While they came up for how header, "To the lot, not the few," it fair seemed to be the ideally prospect to get the spot through, Freddie Claude told. He's not how his hate for Jew has got much stronger above the history year, he's how he could get in force. He's really terrible to include how as a opportunity. I will completely keep the nation and I speak you how in an extremely sad cardiac. I'm UK, I loving England. I loving all there. I loving the UK birds singing, I include an British kindergarten, I constructed my household there. I'm a retired nursing following year of work in the NHS but I speak you which, if Jeremy Corbyn gets in the Labour side later I'm out of there. I'm departure above to Israel following monthly to do a reconnaissance. I don't wish to include to keep, but I'm not an fool and I can see which is event. The is hazardous and severe material. The increasing concerns of the UK Hebrew society go at a period while against Semitism is on the growth in Europe. Hungary has florid accusations of against Semitism in the conduct up to the year's poll in critics of CEO Viktor Orban pretending he has utilized against Semitic tropes for his campaigning. In Britain, natural against Semitic attacks are uncommon, and no main political figure would lawyer publicly against Semitic policy official position. So it feels disgusting how any term of Britain's 263,000 powerful Hebrew society would sense so disappointed by the Labour side's relation to the question as to ponder outgoing. Mr. Corbyn has had a quantity of invitations of us to sit downward for an interviewing and do his stance precise. He has rejected in the history to do so. You would believe how, cladding big-scale accusations and vision supporting for his side sinker amongst the Hebrew society, Mr. Corbyn would include done it a precedence to sit downward in Hebrew common figures and the Hebrew common print. Couple and apart year after, he is yet to offer an interviewing to a Hebrew paper. Mr. Corbyn's Hebrew acquaintances go, as a entire, of the diminutive minority group of distant left Jew. He doesn't appear to know how such a human beings are not all member of our society. It is difficult to see how someone, concerning several issues, appears not to include modified his reason for 40 year, is abruptly departure to changing his reason on the. Corbyn's supporters say how the accusations equalized at the 68-year-old are smears and are the job of the prudent by the government and UK print. Suffering themselves at a neighbouring resist demonstration by the comparatively new Bang team, Hebrew Vote for Labour, JVL, protesters reasoned how Corbyn was creature aim by Britain's law-wing clique. Yet he's as well done worst since he's creature utilised by the law-wing of the Labour side versus Corbyn. Nobody who supports Palestine rights will be attacked one way or else. These kinds of dog-whistling policy are really efficient with the print this it as reality. They are in fact love magnetically for more than against Semitism, she added. Fresco, how type is not shared by the main Hebrew society, nor lot Labour lawmakers, who cede how Corbyn has not made quite to deny against Semitism during the side. On Saturday, following next the ad down there would be a outcry, Corbyn liberated else declaration, the period proverb how he acknowledged how against Semitism has occurred in pockets during the Labour side, challenging ache and wound to our Hebrew society in the Labour side and the otherwise of the nation. He added, I am genuinely disappointed for the ache that has been inflicted. On Monday, he shipped an email to the Executive Board of Deputy Corps and the Hebrew Management Justice, offer to encounter in them and denouncing against Semitism as the socialism of fools. He proposed his excuse once again, and told he would never be whatever some rather than a belligerent enemy of against Semitism. In the struggle, I am yours friend and ever will constitute. For several, how excuse may include go to deceased.